Let's go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
Like always, we keep you stimulated, up to date on what you need to know. My co-hosts are the wonderful, the fabulous, you guys know, the AI man, Mr. Keith Swanson. He's here today as always, live and in color, automated, and all of that kind of stuff. Good morning, Keith. How are you?
I'm still waiting on my upload, right? Elon Musk said any day now.
Oh, my God. You're going to burst right through, right?
Hey, I'm going to spread out and spread the knowledge, okay?
Wow, we're going to put you on automation. Hey, that's everybody's looking for automation. Automation, when to wake up, when to get up, when to stay up.
You want to access keys? Just one push button away.
What's going to happen to our brain cells?
Okay, what's going to happen is atrophy, right? Because like anything else, right? Like any other muscle, you're a nurse, Dr. Rosie. If you don't use something, you lose it, right? Okay?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. I noticed the literacy rate for the United States was like 98% maybe 10, 15 years ago. It's down to like 75% now. It's because
you think some of this might be contributing to all this
automation.
Dementia and Alzheimer and all
this
kind of stuff?
People don't use it. It atrophies, right? These are children, and we're not talking about old folks, we're talking about kids, okay?
I'm not going to let mine go to waste. You know that, okay? I'm up 24/7 on AI. Yeah. Everything that comes out, I get ready for it. But great. We have Mr. Ricky Davis. Ricky's in the house. Hi, Ricky.
Arthur, unmute. Are you muted, Ricky?
Arthur, Mr. Ricky, my other co-host.
He'll be back. He stepped away.
Well, he'll be back. Okay, He'll be back, you guys. So when he come in, then he'll just jump right in. He'll fit in, get in where he fit in. That's what it's all about. This show today, I think it's quite interesting. I think we're going to have a great dialogue. We're going to talk about our topic today is from partnership
to
pass up.
Right.
Either I'm going to be a partner. I'm not going to get married now. We ain't doing that.
Okay.
Our partnership, that's a whole different thing than a marriage. And we're going to talk about that, why people rather be a partnership, shack-up ship, anything except a traditional marriage. They just say sometimes, well, we just friends. But you're doing the things that married people do. You're living like married people, but you keep using every terminology except this is my wife.
Yes.
This is my husband.
What do you think about that, Rosie? What do you think about that? Because I despise the language change. It's because now your husband or your wife is your partner instead of your husband and wife. Do you think there's a difference, or do you think that's just terminology?
I think it's just terminology. I think people don't want to say. It's like they're afraid that word. Married. This is my partner. This is my significant other. Anything except this is my wife or this is my husband.
Right.
Because it carries a lack of responsibility when you don't use the word married.
Okay,
I think that's what people are running from, Keith.
Okay.
So my question today is, why are so many black men and women opting out of marriage? Are the expectations around income, lifestyle, is a pricing? Are we pricing ourselves out of relationships? And are some black men avoiding marriage due to economic pressure?
Amongst other things, yes.
Yeah, avoiding the shame of not are not meeting up or not manning up because of the expectation. You know, you're supposed to bring in the bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to get away from all these old sayings and all these ideologies that we've been coupled with. I think there's a lot of pressure, you know, on both sides. And we can agree, too, that a lot of it is because of just past experience. And for the Black community, I put out a cry. I said, if you're married, you need to work it out, find a way, get counseling, get help. It is critical, folks, for Black folks now to either stay married if they can, if they're married. If they're single, they need to look at finding someone to get married to. Now, some people say, now, you're just taking it too far. No, I'm not. Because I'm looking at this community, and I know why it is in such a hectic condition. Because of the economic situation that has a lot to do with these marriages. When you divorce, okay, somebody's going to get the house, or you have to sell it to pay the other person out, and God knows we don't need to be losing any property. And when you look at one income, many people that's married, they have children, they have child support. You are over here, you can't make it. He can't hardly make it. Now you have kids selling drugs, doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, talking about some of the young men and women. Have some of the young girls who are actually on the streets, you know, trying to be models, getting caught up with sex trafficking. All of this has to do with income. Let's might as well face it. And the community is more stable when you have families intact, and that's a given. And when we look at the devastation from an economic standpoint, think about it. You guys, most Black businesses, that income comes from people who look like them. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So if the income is diminished and the neighbor in your community is devastated economically, so everything we do, you all, have a ripple effect all the way down to the very bottom. So it is critical. We need to have a national cry about how we need to look at how we can relate to each other and get back to just hanging in there. Nothing is perfect. I'm looking at people in my generation who are out here now trying to live off a Social Security check. The average elderly person today, if their landlord sold their home, they would be homeless. Their Social Security would not pay rent here in Los Angeles, California.
No,
and it's getting this way across the country. You know, rents and everything's going up. So I think we need to have a push on how our family dynamics need to be right now and not be so afraid of marriage. Because our kids, and I'm going to let you all jump in, but listen to this. Hi, Simone. Welcome back.
I knew you'd be back for this one, Simone.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's really critical when you think about, let's just paint this picture. A lot of young men who are opting out of marriage and a lot of young women who don't mind doing everything that married folks do, but afraid to get married. And a lot of it is because they don't see enough people in marriage. I spoke to my, it was my cousin the other day. He's 26. I was talking to him about taking a trade and so he can be able to get married one day and take care of family. He looks at me. I said, don't you expect to get married one day and have a family? He said, no. And I said, why? He said, marriages don't work. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. Well, he's not that wrong.
He said marriage don't work. Now, what they see, they're looking at your life. They're looking at what mama wasn't married, auntie wasn't married. So they think it's not the thing to do. So you guys jump in and tell me what you think. I think there needs to be a push on what marriage is all about. The unrealistic expectation when somebody's saying he's supposed to bring in the bacon, where you supposed to do all the cooking. We need to take all this what you're supposed to do out and having a national conference as to what it means to be a Black woman, what it means to be a Black man. We need to define that in the context of what's going to save us here being Black in America. Come on, you guys, talk to me.
Okay, the biggest thing, there's two things that happen, and this is something that you can look it up because they talk about this all around. There's two major things that really happened in the 1970s. Right? One was the abortion and the birth control pill, right? Okay. In other words, women were not, they had less stress about having kids out of wedlock and being out on their own. The second thing was no fault divorce, okay, which you blew it up. You used to have fault. It used to be very hard to get out of a marriage, okay, extremely hard to get out of a marriage, okay. Now it's just 3 months and a few pieces of paper, okay, and you can see the erosion over time. Like, I mean, it used to be, like 90% of people were married, and you stayed married. Most people stayed married to that one spouse for their entire life. Okay, most guys and most women had maybe one or two what as the kids call bodies. Okay, on them. Okay, at max. Now it's 10, 15, 20, 30. Now by the time you get 18, you've had 10, 15 partners. Okay, so you have a lot of this dissolving of the structure of society. Okay, and now a lot of young guys, because I talk to them all the time, right? If the average black marriage only lasts 5 years, and the average marriage in America only lasts 8, okay, what are you investing in? Because there's a lot of risk that's associated with it. If you know you're going to be with that woman for 15, 20, even 30 years, okay, you can take that risk, okay? She can walk out in 2, 3, 4, 5, okay?
Okay, but the bottom line, when we think about it, do you all agree that it needs to be a push? I don't care what anybody else is doing. The push needs to be black folks need to stop this cohabitating partnership, get married. It's not perfect, and stop looking at television. Somebody need to stand up and say, this is not peaches and cream. You're not going to agree on everything. You are. Go ahead, Ricky.
Yes, and I agree. And let me just say this. I had a conversation actually last week with some friends of mine about the whole ordeal of marriage and how it's been, it's been looked upon and frowned upon, like you said, as it don't work, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I've discovered, and just from my own personal experience, is that the formula of how to stay married has not been rewritten. And what I mean by that is there's so many people that are quick to jump and get married, but they don't know how to stay married. Right. So there's no true formula for today's society on how to stay married, but the formula
today's time.
Exactly, today's society. Yeah. So what's happened is society is saying they push this agenda of it's all about how I feel, what I want, what I desire, and what makes me happy. We have created a me society instead of a we society. You cannot be married and stay married with a me mentality. No. You have to have a we mentality, because we means you and I. That means when we come together as one, we are going to work this thing out, hell or high water. We're going to be able to go through the storm. But there's no true formula today on how to stay married, because so many people go in with the idea of, well, if it don't work, I'm out. I mean, I'm gonna make sure I get mine. It's like, so what's the purpose of getting married? Oh, it's because it looks good. My friends are doing it. I look at all the benefits from a selfish perspective, but no one is really knowing how to stay married, because there's no evidence and no formula for today on how to do that. And if you wanted to talk about the black churches, let's just talk about the black churches, Dr. Rosie.
Oh,
I have to open up a can of worms.
They finally let me in one last Sunday. You get ready to
yes, they did.
Go ahead.
They did. The black churches, and I'm not saying this to be negative, but there's no evidence today for black churches on how to prepare these people for marriage. What's happening is they're basically encouraging them to get married because that's just the thing to do, but there's no push on premarital counseling. There's no push on getting you right, because what's happening is some pastors have gone ahead and married these people even when they found out that they were not mature enough for marriage.
Right.
They may have had some they may have some mental challenges. They may have had whatever issues. They did not say, okay, you know what? Hey, you want to get married? But let's go ahead and take our time and let's get some counseling first to work on you. so many people are getting quick to get married, and then it don't last. Like he said, like 5 years or less, because they were never marriage material in the first place.
That's true. That's the biggest problem. And something, because where I buy, the store across the street where I buy my lotto tickets, right? This Latina, she had just had a baby, right? A baby girl. And I asked her, I said, it was like her first birthday. I gave her a little money for her first birthday, right? And I said, what are you going to buy your daughter for her first birthday? She said, a tea set. I said, she's only a year old. Why would you buy her a tea set? She said, because she has to learn how to do what? Set a table at a year old, okay? In other words, she's training her to be a wife started at a year old, okay? I don't think we do that anymore. Back in the day, Dr. Rose, I'm sure the society trained you how to be a wife, whether you're going to be one or not. The thing is, they started training.
Focus on that. You need to learn how to cook. You need to know how to sew. But we go into it now. People go into what if it doesn't work. I get
what if it doesn't work?
Anytime, if you get married to someone, and they want to put that stuff in storage, that's a red flag right there. Because they say in case it don't work.
In case it doesn't work, in case it doesn't work, because the pieces don't fit. Okay, when my mother and father got married, my father could have just thrown a rock and found a wife. Okay, it's because he's prepared to be a husband because he was trained. My mother's prepared to be a wife. Okay, she was trained. He could throw on a rock and find a husband. Can't do that anymore because I talk to these kids all the time, and 19, 20, 30 years old, they're 35 years old. They don't even know how to be a husband or a wife. Okay,
they haven't seen it, Keith. That's the point. This is why I say the cry for Black America need to focus right now on the family, because when you lose that, you have lost everything. They don't see an example, and God forbid now. Here you walk up to the church. See, Ricky, you start mess. You messy.
He is messy.
No.
Yeah, he's messy.
I'm just trying to call it out like I see it.
He's messy.
I mean, look, Dr. Rosie, where you just spoke this past Sunday.
Yeah.
I can count the men in that church literally on one hand.
Ricky, did you come? I didn't see you.
Yes, me and Simone were in the back. We were on the couch. We got kicked off the first couch, and then we were then transitioned to the second couch. But we were in the back. We heard everything. Yeah, we were in the back. But what I'm saying is, I noticed there at the church that there were less than 5 men,
right,
out of all the women in that church. And what's happening is, there's not enough male presence, and then there's not enough male tutelage and counseling for men and preparing them to be husbands and to be able to take care of a family. And then you're left with the women who are actually taking on being the father and the mother in the household. So everything is just discombobulated, and no one is really getting down to the basics. Why? Because there's no teaching, there's no counseling, there's no preparation. And if it is, it's not being made available to the public.
And
everybody's just going and let the way
doing
they
your
see
thing.
Let me ask you.
Suffering from example. Okay.
Let me ask you.
Wait. One second.
Go ahead.
Back in the day, Keith, it was no such thing as a minister being divorced.
True.
A church wouldn't even call a minister to pastorship if he didn't have a wife. Am I right?
And that's fact.
You're right.
We have lost all that morality.
Yes.
So now you see the pastor been married 3 times. He's divorcing. So we need some example. We need some role models that it can work. So now you can see why people saying, no, I'm not going to get into this. And we tend to hold on to the negative. No, because I remember this man, he got divorced and he had to pay alimony. But we don't know that women who pay alimony, we tend to glue our consciousness on the bad things we've seen and not the good things we have seen. So bottom line, we need a national cry to bring our families back together. You got young girls trying to tell men how to be a man. Well, you man, you don't know what a man is. You never had one in your house. You don't know where your daddy, your granddaddy, and the men you've seen come in and out of the house with your mom. Sometime every 2 years, it's a different one. You don't know who to call dad. Come on.
Yes.
We need to break this cycle. Let Simone jump in. We got Brenda over there. And Keith, can you give a number for those others who want to jump in? Because folks, I mean, it's time to hook up.
Okay.
In fact, I went to a seminar, Rick, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about all the benefits that the veteran wives have. And we're sitting back in the back, and I raised my hand, I said, is there a veteran here who's looking for a wife? And everybody cracked up. Y'all better find you a veteran.
Now, the military does have a huge incentive for active service members to actually get married. There's actually a monetary, financial incentive for them to get married. So they push marriage. They actually push marriage. That's how come so many of them actually get married. There's actually a whole structure for them to actually get married.
Okay, we're gonna go to Simone. Jump in here. I know my girl got something to say. And Brenda, you jump in here too. Don't be sitting up here acting like you don't know what's going on. Come on, Simone, talk to me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So my contribution to the conversation is a few things. One is I agree that there are not a lot of examples. So I grew up in a household with parents who were married. They were married for 50 years before my dad passed, and it's his birthday today, so we are remembering him. So although I grew up in a household where I had the example of what marriage looks like and how it operates, the men that I date did not have the same example. So like Keith was saying, sometimes women are trained to become wives, and I wasn't necessarily trained per se, but I saw what my mom did as a wife, and so I wanted my opportunity to do those same things. But the men that I was dating, by them not having the same example, they didn't value those skill sets that I brought to the relationship. And so those things weren't important to them. They weren't looking for that. They were looking for other things that they saw on TV or that their homeboys were experiencing in their relationship. And so I was looking for a husband, and I know what a husband looks like because I've had the example. And so we were just misaligned because they didn't have the example and they were looking for different things. The other thing that I know is that marriages, a lot of people like to say that marriages, lasted longer back in the day. And I know that part of the reason was that women had less opportunities outside of the marital covenant. And so like society did not allow women to have their own bank accounts, credit cards, own property, and all those things. And women had the only way that they could get out of their parents' houses is through marriage.
Run away, huh? Elope.
Elope, yeah.
And so if we're going to be honest about the conversation about marriages back in the day, a lot of those women were not happy in their marriages, and they stayed because they didn't have a choice, because if they were out there in the world by themselves, they wouldn't be able to survive because they didn't have the same opportunities that we have today as women. And that's why marriage is also a bit more optional for us, because we have more opportunities and we can live a good life by ourselves. So it's a combination of both men and women not having the example, and that women have more opportunities to make other decisions for themselves today.
Okay, women have more opportunities. Like you said, back in the day, a lot of those women, you could say may not have been happy, but we got to look at the end benefit, especially when you choose to bring children in the world. You don't have to deny yourself everything, but it should be important to you as to what impacts those children when you're walking out of relationships, and particular women who are, too hot to trot. Sex is priority on their list always. Okay. So then they have men coming in and out of the house, kids looking at the fact this man, you calling him dad, and next week you're with someone else. We're sending some real, and then you go, well, this man is a dog. He ain't no good. Now your daughter figure, well, all men gonna cheat, so I'm not gonna get married. And then you act as if what you call cheating, is the worst thing in the world. And like when I hear single women talk about a man cheated on them, now I get called out a lot on this, but I'm going to say it.
No,
if
go
the
ahead.
man,
Go
if
ahead.
he's not married to you, he's not cheating.
He's not cheating.
He's not
Exactly.
cheating. So stop that foolishness. If he has not committed, he's not married to you, he's not cheating. Because how can you decide who you want to choose as a wife. If you start dating one person 17 or 18 and you can't ever date anybody else, that's what happened with a lot of marriages. You need to know exactly what you're getting into. But I'm telling you, keep it real. If we don't change this for whatever reason, women, black women, we do have a lot of choices, but you also have that choice when you get older to be almost eaten out of the trash can. Because there used to be a time that the children went away and went to college and came back to help the adults. It's reversed. It used to be. Come on now. It used to be that the children had more education than their parents. But today we are operating in reverse order to nature.
Yes.
Now the parent has degrees and the children don't. It used to be that the children went away and prepared. The greatest thing was, if mama have to come and live with me, I want to make sure she can do that. I want to make sure the man that I get married to understand that if my mom needs help, we're going to be able to help her. It's totally in reverse order to nature now. The kids are coming home to live with mama. And they're coming and bringing their children with them. So what I'm saying, it's time for us to look at the dynamics. Look at 2025, not what used to be. And look at where can we go from now. This is what I'm talking about. Where do we need to go from now on in order to survive? Otherwise, we're going to be back up on the hands of Pharaoh. And I don't know who's going to part the Red Sea for us. I don't know who's going to help us cross Jordan River. Y'all understand what I'm saying? There's nobody here to help us. So we can't wait and operate on society standard. We really are not Caucasian clones, and we're going to have to play the music, Ricky, that we need to dance to. That's all I'm saying.
But that's the reason why, Dr. Rosie, and just for those who are listening, I'm honored to have Dr. Rosie as a panelist on my second book reading on next weekend, the 2nd, and then Miss Simone will be the moderator. The reason why I am excited about this setting that I'm creating, God showed me that in order for me to extend some conversation help to society and what we're struggling is to have these readings. Because what's important is, like you said, we have to start having conversations, and then we have to start taking back and helping our own and really showing and teaching, having the experienced people come in and talk to the younger people and say, listen, this is what happened. This is how we were wrong. This is how the decisions we made. We want to teach you from these experiences on how to not duplicate it. Like, for example, for my boys, my job right now for my boys, my two boys, 21 and 16 years old, is to teach them to be better men than I was growing up, and to teach them better than my father taught me. Why? Because my father did the best he could with what he had. But because I first one to go to college in my family, my job now is to make sure that my boys get the proper education and the direction and the tools so they can be better men and better for their families. And so we have to be able to teach the younger generation the pros and the cons and let them know that if you want your life to be a certain way, you have to work for it. It's not going to be given to you. You can't just stop and say, I don't like this, I'm going to the next. No, you have to be able to anchor in and have a plan. And every plan that you have is not always going to work out to a T. You're going to have some snafus. You're going to have some delays. You're going to have some problems. But the question is, how do you work through the problems? How do you get past it?
Exactly. And Ricky, we have to those out there as parents, you have to sometimes make yourself vulnerable.
Yes.
You need to let your children know your ups, and you need to let them know your failures. Yes. If there's things that you failed at that you could have done better at, you need to let them know, because they sometimes think you're perfect. They need to know that you're not. They need to know that you're married. If it's not perfect. But here, it's when I counsel people, I have them to draw a line, a column, as to what you don't like in this marriage. What you can, I don't like it, but I can compromise. I can put up with this. So bottom line, you're going to put up with something. So if you get into a marriage or relationship and you think there's no putting up, everything got to be just your way, then you don't ever need to get married. And my daddy said teeth and tongue falls out. Okay? Teeth and tongue. That's what he told me. He said, baby, teeth and tongues
fall out. Wow, I got to use that one.
So it's going to be some ups and downs. But try being by yourself now. Trying to make it on oneself. See what the ups and downs are.
Right. It is. Yeah. It's going to get worse.
Yes, it is. It's going to get worse. And also, too, Dr. Rosie, and from my own personal experience, I share with these young cats. I said, look, man, I said it's a beautiful thing to be young and single and to just be free. But as you get older, that plays out. It wears out. It gets old. And you're going to want to share your life with someone who can give you and provide you things you can't provide for yourself. And we ain't talking about money. We ain't talking about fun. We're talking about
we ain't talking about sex either. Let me throw
exactly.
that in there.
No. Throw that in there. We're talking about nurturing. We're talking about support. We're talking about encouragement. We're talking about conversation. We're talking about as you get older, you crave those things. And I said, listen, you're not going to be young forever. You're not going to be single forever. I says, but you're going to crave to want to have a partner that's going to have your back, be supportive, so you won't have to live life by yourself. As you get older, you don't want to be by yourself. You want to be with somebody to share your life with so you can grow older together. I said, and that is the concept. I said, you may not be able to see it now, but trust me, as time goes along, you're going to start seeing that and you're going to start feeling that. So prepare for it now so you won't sit up here and get to that place where you losing your dang mind because now you're alone and you by yourself and it's just you and the bottle.
And look at, Keith, what happened now when you see a lot of our elderly black men. They all pile up at a restaurant. They meet on the corner. They meet on the corner. And when they get old, they don't have any companion. Their kids are not visiting because many times when they were young, it was nice to do what the other cats was doing. So now they don't have a relationship with their kids. And many times it's not their fault. Many times it's because the woman have poisoned the kid's mind about their father, who kept them from their father. They never got a chance to know. But however the situation is, they find themselves lonely. They find themselves sick and no help. They find themselves in the convalescent home with nobody to visit. I think somebody needs to stand over that pulpit and lay these things out. They don't see that picture. They don't hear that picture. All they think about is that now I'm healthy. I got 5 or 6 different women. I'm having sex with this one. I'm sleeping with this one. But it'll come a day that you won't even have the desire. Oh, let me backtrack. You may have the desire, but you won't be able
the ability.
Let's just put it out there like it is. Then what you're going to do? But you can certainly be intimate. You can certainly have companion. I guess that's why so many people have dogs. They let dogs. They let everything substitute for who God made to be with them in time like these. Brenda, let's hear from Brenda. Brenda, I'm sure Brenda has something to say on this topic because I'm getting wound up. I think everybody.
Jump in, Brenda. We know you got something to say. Come on now.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I certainly do. There's been a plethora of knowledge and information that has been shared. My perspective is, I have been fortunate enough to have seen the model of a woman's role and a man's role. And I have been in quite a few relationships, and I have carried myself as a woman of God, not overly pushing my beliefs on anybody, but just being a kind person. And I've just seen that a lot of the things that are modeled today, there's so many perspectives and there's so much sex that is portrayed in everything on television, everywhere we look, that a lot of times men feel that there's so many options that they're not ready to make a selection. And I'm not putting the blame on men at all. I'm just saying that there is a lack of information. And as a result of that, I am an older person, so I'm seeing the men that I have dated are getting older, and now they're more in the mindset of finding someone as a nurse rather than a woman.
Girl, you better stop. You better stop.
And if
what she
I'm
said?
selected for that, I choose not to. I mean, I would love to nurture a man who has some problems if he's dealing with that as a wife, but don't choose me for that purpose only.
Wow. Did you hear that? You guys hear that? They're looking for
I heard it.
A nurse, somebody. I mean, if you're married to someone and that health failing, you have to take care of them, turn them, change them, do all this stuff.
Yeah, but
it's easier than it is when you get in a relationship with someone, particularly you're a mature or senior person, and you just, I mean, you don't have enough invested.
Exactly. They don't have no equity.
To make you want to give up your life to take care of a person like that. Now, that's one of the reasons a lot of senior women are saying as they get older, then that they don't want to get married because they're afraid they may put in a position of having to take care of someone that they have no invested equity in. That's why it's important. And Brenda mentioned everything, sex is everywhere, the car is section 2. Section. I always say if we can take money and sex out of the equation, then build some relationships, we'll have something going. You said that's impossible?
It's impossible, it's impossible.
What's impossible about that? What's impossible when you have diabetes or high blood pressure and taking medication and you can't get an erection if you want to? You don't die. You won't die because you don't have sex. I've never seen a death certificate say the cause of death is lack of sex.
Yeah, but money, but money's the other part of the equation. If you got diabetes and you're broke, you got problems as a man. Okay, sex has had nothing to do with it. But the thing is, do you have resources that she wants to share with you? Okay, what do you have to give her?
What are you offering? Yeah,
what are you offering? What are you offering? Okay, and that's what. It's not just sex; it's sex and money.
Can you offer caring? Can you offer intimacy?
Come on now.
Good luck.
Can you offer a conversation? Okay.
Communication. A lot of men, Dr. Rosie, unfortunately, a lot of men are so set in their ways, and as they get older, they refuse to either want to change or compromise. And a lot of these older women are getting sick and tired of reducing themselves to just settling because these men think that, hey, there's way more women than y'all. I can easily get, plenty. But then what they don't realize is you may have options, but how many options are quality? And so a lot of these men are not willing to change and really try to compromise to make things work. It's either this is how I am, either you're going to deal with it or not. And then that's what creates a wedge. And so a lot of these men really self-sabotage their own situation. And I have no compassion for them because they don't want to change and they don't want to compromise to at least meet a woman halfway so they can have something special.
Well, they made a choice and they have to. They made a choice. They made a choice. If you don't want to compromise, and basically this is this is what young men are doing, right? Believe it or not. If you don't want to compromise, you want to be who you are. You want to stay in your own self, then you're going to be alone. It is what it is. It's a choice that you make. Okay. And the thing is about sex, and this is something that's going on. I heard about the loneliness crisis about young men, right? Okay. And I was listening to Nick Fuentes, like him or not, right? And Candace Owens said, how come you're not married at 26? He says, because I don't want to change. Okay. I like being who I am. I like doing what I want to do. I like my own hobbies, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to sacrifice my time and what I want to do and my personal freedom for even a woman, girlfriend, sex, marriage, kids. There's a lot of guys doing that. Yeah.
That's what I think Ricky and I was leading up to. It's time that we teach our people about the now and the future. We have too many people living in the now, not recognize that it's going to be a transition. And then what's going to happen to you? This is why we're saying these conversations need to go on. what can you offer me if you can't offer me the sexual stamina? What do you have to offer me outside of an erection? That's the question.
Come
What
on.
what can you offer me?
Or resources.
Even not that, because I may bring my own resource. Let's get
Oh,
let's
come
get
on.
down to the
Okay.
nitty-gritty.
I mean, what are young women asking for now? Okay, they're asking for a 666, right? Okay, they're asking for at least six figures. Okay, it probably is going up now to 150,000, right?
Wait, Keith. What? Okay,
That's what they're asking
straighten
for.
up here. Maybe I know I'm kind of keeping up, but what black women
Ooh.
are asking for a six figure?
Yes, they are.
Oh,
Yes,
they are.
They are. Am I wrong, Ricky? Am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong at all.
Okay.
So why do they want the six figure? What do they want you to
Social
do?
media. Social media.
666 rule. Go ahead.
Okay. You want me to explain it?
Yeah, explain that 666.
Okay. I mean, for the past, that's all I hear, right? Okay, and these are sometimes women with 4 and 5 kids by 3 or 4 different men, right? Okay,
That's it.
and they still want a guy that makes over 6 figures, $100,000
Well, I guess so.
better.
If they have 6 kids to take care, I guess.
And then they want him to be at least 6 feet tall.
6 feet tall. Yep.
And they want him to at least have a member that's over 6 inches.
That's it. That's it.
They can blow her back out. Yes.
Yep.
That's what they want.
So you're trying to tell me,
Mm-hmm.
that this is what the younger women
Yes.
want now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What are they proposing to bring to the table?
They are the table. They are the table.
They are the table.
They are the table.
Yes.
That's all they bring to them.
I wish I was lying.
I gotta have this closed door men conference right away.
And I'm trying to tell you, Dr. Rosie.
Hey, Dr. Rosie, I wish, because I quote you all the time, okay? I quote you all the time. They said, where'd you get all this stuff from? I said, I got a mentor. She's almost 80 years old. She's been on counseling women for 40 years. It's not coming out of my mouth, okay? That's it, and the thing is, and what's going on is what they call the nice guy syndrome. The guy that's supportive, the guy that listens to you, the guy that shows up for you and your kids. That's the nice guy. They don't want that guy no more.
They don't want that guy.
If you're making your 6-figure income,
yes,
if you bring to the table, you wouldn't be trying to seek a man who has to be making 6 figures.
Oh no. Go ahead, Ricky. Don't. You go ahead and say it.
I got to hold Simone. I got to pull this.
And Ricky probably got a degree. He hears this all the time.
We really need to know what men think about us.
You know what, Dr. Rosie? Like I said, what Keith said is so true, and I'm gonna go a little deeper. A lot of these young women have been prepped and primed by their aunties and their mamas and their grandmas who ain't got a man, or they've been the type that would take advantage of men based on having 3 or 4 men on payroll. They'll have one man to blow the back out. They have one man to pay the bills. They have one man to go on vacation. They have one man that will take
the roster. Yeah, the
roster. So what happens is they would train these young ladies. And we're talking about today. They would train them to be like, you need a man who's going to do this. So you ain't got to worry about it. Give you a perfect example. The NBA right now, the National Basketball Association, you have a lot of young girls who are getting pregnant by these millionaire basketball players because they've been taught if you can get at least 2 or 3 kids and be soda for the next 18 years, you're going to be an instant millionaire. So they're thinking business-wise, if I can get one of these athletes, I'll be set for the next 18 years. And if I get at least more than one, I'll be set even more. So they are millionaires. They are broke millionaires walking around with babies that they're not taking care of, but they're hiring nannies and they're hiring family members to take care of their kids while they go throughout the world and shop and chase all these athletes. It's a phenomenon. They're
not thinking about getting married. They're doing just what they're thinking about financial security without working.
That's it.
But you know what? See, a lot of these young girls, and I know this for a fact. I had some young people on my show some years ago. Jamal may still have that taping. Their parents are saying to them, no, they hear, honey, he have to pay the lay. So you're trying to teach them to be a little sophisticated. Let me back up here. Sophisticated prostitutes. I said one Sunday I was at a church and the minister, yeah, I got reprimanded for it, but I held to what I said. I said, you sitting up in the church with your long white dresses on. You think that you're better than the woman on Figaro. But because you're in your bedroom, your own house, your waterbed, wherever you lay, but the man, you're saying he got to pay to lay, then you are just a sophisticated prostitute.
Say it again.
You just in your own house. But what's the difference? But I've heard women, honey, if he can't do this, you don't need him. Telling a 16-year-old girl, if he can't pay for you, if he can't pay for the movie and the popcorn, baby, you don't need to go with them. That they're sending out the wrong attitude. Because if everybody was paying to lay with you, why your ass broke? Why you ain't got nothing? Why you sitting up in a Section 8 apartment? You sending double message to your daughter. Evidently, whoever was paying you to lay, they wasn't paying too much. You see? So we need to look at the reality of this. He got to pay to lay. If he can't do nothing for you, what can you do for yourself?
Yeah, you got to start telling these young women, stop having babies by your concubines, okay? He's not there to be a father. You because he made your liver quiver doesn't mean you need to have a baby by him, okay?
Come on now. Come on.
I think that this part of the conversation is so interesting because I believe that part of this is in response to how our boys and young men have been raised to think of women. And now women have seen how men have been treating women and how they have been used for various things. And so this is the response.
So it's payback. Is it payback somehow?
Because if you think about it, the same way that Keith and Ricky have described these young ladies, we were able to describe young men in the exact
It's been
way,
transactional.
the way that they were interact with women. So that's one thing, because the guys have been doing this for a very long time. Like the young women these days are just like, well, we're not going to sit back and be taken advantage of, so we're going to take a point from y'all's playbook and we're going to do the same thing. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying
definitely.
You're just saying what is. That's what the conversation is about.
It's become transactional.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. It's wrong on both ends, and that's why we have to get to the place of coming clean and starting from the ground up and really changing the mindset.
That's why we need that conference, because men. Men doing a lot of lying about what they doing. Be honest with yourself.
Be honest.
That's the point. So they are learning from you.
Yes.
And the girls are learning from their mother. And both of them lying, okay?
Come on.
Both of them lying. Are not being truthful. Go ahead, Simone.
The other thing that is also true is that we have an entire population of women, especially Black women, who are not requiring the 666. It's not the same generation. More so my generation I could speak to, that we don't have that standard. We do accept people for wherever they're at in their lives and the way that we are treated in response to that, because the man isn't comfortable with his situation, either financially or otherwise. And when they have women like me who are willing to come alongside them in whatever stage in their life or wherever they are in their situation, they don't treat us well. They don't appreciate that. They don't value the fact that we are not requiring these things of them and we actually want to build with them, and we get mistreated. So
are you saying they think something is wrong with you because you're not trying to get in their pocketbook? They want to know what's up, what's behind it.
No. What I'm saying,
are you saying, do they like? Maybe men like this stuff.
Now go into that. Go into that, because you said it, but you kind of gave us the overview. Okay.
What I'm saying is they are not okay with themselves because they feel a kind of way about how much money they're making or not making, how they look or how they perceive themselves to be what they don't have.
Okay.
So you have a woman that's okay with the way you are and understanding that you have the ability to change the situation, and they're okay with being with you.
But are you the exception or the rule?
There are a lot of us out here.
Absolutely.
I'm not a lot, but are you the rule or the exception to the rule?
She's the rule.
She's a rule? Okay. All right.
She's a rule.
Okay.
That's why we need this conference. Simone, that's why we have to have this conference, because men has the wrong perception about what women want, and women have the wrong perception about what men want, because we've never really put it together. You look at the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 women that's been in your life, and you tend to judge all of us. I know professional women who are basically taking care of the men that's in their life. They're making so much more money, but they have happy relationships. But nobody ever talk about these women.
Nope.
They only talk about those women who are in your pocketbook. But they don't talk about these women who are allowing you, who are helping men to build their businesses, who are in partnership with them, who's giving them money to start their business because they believe in them, because they see something in them. We don't hear those stories. Oh. It's time to hear about those stories. You know, we're not gold diggers. If black women was gold diggers, they wouldn't even look for black men, because how many of them have gold? Y'all better walk with me.
Well, the thing is, Dr. Rosie, men are very results oriented. Okay, they're not idealists. They're results oriented. Men do what works. Okay, if there were women out there, the majority of women out there like that, men would not be this way. Men only do what works. But you don't
get to know them, Keith. We're telling you, we're professional women with decent income. We know hundreds of women who are just like us, and they think just the way Simone is saying, just the way I am saying. But when they're out there, so that's why, again, y'all think we need this conference. See, we don't know what each other want. That's why we're having these issues.
We got to have more conversations, because this is what Simone said, which I totally agree. That a lot of men and women, like I said, so it's neither one. It's not one over the other.
Yeah,
it's a perception based on experience. So Simone is saying is true. There are men that will look at Simone and be like, "Okay, what's her angle? Like she's perfect, or she's too good to be true, or there's something like that." Perception could be based on a man being hurt, being misled, being disappointed, or have a bad example from his mom, didn't have a good relationship.
Right.
So there's so many different factors. So when a man does get to a Simone, he don't really know how to handle her and deal with her, because he's on edge, he's on tight, because he's not used to it. He's used to exactly. He's used to the other way.
Right.
He ain't familiar with this way.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
And then there's not enough Simones out there. I can tell you there's not enough Simones out there.
That's it. Yes.
I'm telling you, there are enough of us.
No, baby. I know there's not. No, there's not. I'm telling you.
I can name 50 of me right now.
I can name 50,000 of you that are not. Okay.
I can name 100. I can name 100. See, that's why we gotta have this conference. These women are out there. See, it's too many people who can't have a wholesome relationship. It's not their experience. They're living through the experience of their mother, their auntie, their girlfriend, mama, stuff they heard. They're living through experience of what they saw on TV. Folks, I want you all to know that there are women out there, good women who making money, decent women, loving women, who just looking for somebody to share that space, because they don't need you to pay them rent. They understand intimate. They just need somebody that they can talk to and do things with. They need companion. They're not looking for your penis. I'm gonna throw that out there too, because they know how. They know how to. If they want an orgasm, they can get themselves one. Yeah, I'm going there. Y'all done made me mad now.
I got brothers, multiple brothers with PhDs that are college professors that tell me on a regular basis that they can't find Simones. Okay.
They're not looking for Simone. They want a lot of them want these welfare chicks. They
No,
want
they
somebody
do
they
not.
can
No, they do.
manipulate.
No,
they
they do
want
not.
somebody
No, they do
that
not.
they think would do anything they say do because they're giving them money.
No, they do not. No, they do not. I wish I could say. I wish
it
was true.
I'm gonna disagree with you, Keith, on this one. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. Now, there are a very small percent that are in that category that you're talking about, but the majority of the cats that got PhDs, degrees, and all that stuff, they don't want a Simone, because Simone will hold you accountable, will call you on your stuff, will not sit up here and be taken advantage of, and will not be disrespected. A lot of cats who have power and have money and degrees and all, they want a yes woman. They want a woman that's going to do whatever they say do.
Yeah. And put up with whatever they do.
And that's what if that's what they want, then that's what they want.
But that's not a Simone.
That's not Simone.
That's what I'm saying. A Simone, check this out. A Simone woman, and I'm sorry for just using your name as example, but a Simone woman is going to hold you accountable and it's going to speak up and not let you walk over. And a lot of men, they don't really want that because that's what they're saying. That's too much work. I'm going to have to be vulnerable. I'm going to have to be. A lot of men are at a point now where they're like, I ain't trying to go through it. That's going to require too much work. I want to be able to go in and come out whenever I want to. So, yeah, they may say in theory, I want a Simone, but they don't really want to deal with a Simone because it's going to require some work. And a lot of people today don't want to work.
Well, then there's a lot more to a Simone than just I'm going to work with you, okay? There's other stuff that goes along with it. Okay.
We'll find out when we.
Oh, I'm gonna write that book called The Octanes. I'm tell you exactly what it is because I see this all the time. Okay, about levels and what you should expect about which wife you pick, and that's a problem. Okay, what attribute? Because each category, each economic category carries expectations and certain attributes. And the thing is, I tell guys all the time, what do you want out of a wife? Okay. And if you don't get a Simone, if there's certain things that Simone will carry, that expectations that she's going to have, that you're not going to meet or you don't want to meet, don't pick her. Okay.
Well, that's what you call that. Those fall in the category that I used is how do you qualify your mate?
Yes.
So people are not qualifying. They qualifying.
Yes.
They looking at women like they're looking at a car. They're looking at the rear end and the headlights.
The rear end, the headlights, the age, the mileage, okay, all that kind of stuff, okay? The mileage, okay, same. Guys have to go through. In fact, this is something because, Dr. T.S. Johnson, I think he still has a show on here, right? Okay? Every year he asks his class, males and females, okay, write down your list of qualifications for a wife or a husband, right? Okay? And the men may have 5 or 6, right? The women have like 40, 50 qualifications, right? Women have a lot more qualifications for a mate than men do. Men are not that difficult to get along with.
They don't realize that what they want until they have 6, but then once they get in a relationship, they realize that there's 20 others. That's because men don't like to talk and really explore what they really want. But I'm more committed now to do this.
Good, yes.
This conference, closed door conference for black men, and a closed door conference for black women, and then we're going to come together because you can see right now why we're so far apart. We're so far
the expectations apart. Of what we before we what, and this is something because I hear this all the time, right? Okay, and I tell men this all the time. Okay, it's better to be content for a life than trying to be happy every now and then. Okay, and marriage is about being content. Okay, the family's working, your wife is fairly content, blah blah. In fact, I was listening to this guy. He's a farmer, right? And his wife got married, right? And she was kind of not happy, so because she was actually a stay-at-home mom, right, with his kids, and she used to fuss at her husband all the time. I want to go back to work. I'm not happy being home with the kids. Blah blah. He said, "Look, are you eating? Yes. You have a roof over your head? Yes. You got electricity. You got water. You got clothes on your back. Blah blah. Yes. Okay. You stay home with my children. Okay. Be content."
And I would have told him, you stay home with him because I have a profession too. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe you stay. I'm making more use of you stay home with him. I'm just kidding now. Some things I'm playing about.
Yeah.
But Keith, the bottom line, folks.
Yes.
Nobody in this world is put in this world to make you happy.
Yes.
There you go. Come on.
Happiness got to come from within you. You're on the wrong page when you're looking for somebody else to make you happy.
Yeah.
You can be in a situation that's not pleasant to you, and you can still find your happiness. We're not responsible for how other people feel or how they think. We're only responsible for how we allow them
come on,
to make us feel. I'm not going to allow you to take away my joy, my happiness. I don't care what the situation is. We can be in a die-hard, heated argument, but you are not taking my joy. You are not making me unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be expressing how I feel. When we understand that joy, that peace, all of that comes within us, nobody else can give that to us. That's the problem. We're looking for somebody else to do it for us. But we're going to have another show on this because Simone just raised up something. But a lot of people really don't realize how many women. Simone is not an exception to the rule.
Simone going to have to come on and tell us what is Simone's, what does she bring to the, let's put the table out. What does she bring to the table and what
intellect.
Hold on.
Intellect.
No, what does she bring to the table and what are her expectations? Because her expectations is where the devil in the details are. What do you expect out of your man?
That's why she's going to be the next guest host in the coming weeks. I already got on the calendar, so she's going to be highlighting this and more things. Because and the reason why I say this is because her voice is going to be magnetic to not just women but men as well. Because a lot of men have lost hope in a because a lot of people don't understand this. And I'm not going to give too much information. Simone wasn't always like this. Simone had to go through therapy to be able to understand who she is and who she was and who she wasn't, to be able to have fruit bared and to be able to be presented to men. So that's her story. So that's why I said when she comes on this show, she will be able to show the manifestation and how she got to be where she is. And that's why a lot of men say they want a Simone, but do they really, really want a Simone? Can they match a Simone?
This is the elevated version of Simone, and there's not a lot of elevated versions of Simone. Okay, or Ricky's. Okay,
you know what, okay? Keith, I've had men to say to me, I don't know if it's a cop out, I wanted to get you something for your birthday. But what do you get a woman who has everything? I said, what do I have? Well, I'm sure you have a mink coat. Well, can I have two? You already have your car. Can I have two? Stop that bullshit, okay?
If you know the woman, you know what to get her. Okay, do you know her?
That's it.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to be expensive.
Go ahead, Simone.
It's also okay to ask if you're not sure, because we don't have everything. We don't.
And maybe if you ask me, maybe I just want you. Then you go, you can't believe that if I say, well, I just want you for my birthday. Now you think I'm being sarcastic.
Because the birthday suit don't cost nothing.
Absolutely. You guys, the clock on the wall said that's all. We're going to get up out of here. Brenda, thank you for joining us. And you guys need to make sure when you hear about this show, you need to send it to your friends. We're going to re-air for those who didn't get a chance to hear it. Tell them to go to innerlightradio.com at 6 o'clock p.m. tonight, Pacific Standard Time. This show is going to re-air, and it will also be on YouTube. Folks, it's time to heal and it's time to get real. Thanks Simone, thank Brenda, thank all those who joined us by the way of the phone all over the country. We love you. We hope we've said something that can inspire you to do better and connect and stop all this partnership and my significant others. Sure, your wife and your husband is your significant other, but why not say my wife or my husband? You guys have a great day as you go on your way. This is Dr. Rosa Milligan. You know me, I ain't starting no mess up in here. I'm just saying. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.